Hello, everyone. It's Rod from Untethered Consciousness. For those who have just tuned in for the first time, welcome. With me today is the wonderful Heather Mays. Welcome, Heather.
Hi, Rod. Hi, everybody. Thanks. It's so nice to be here, and I'm really excited to connect and chat with everybody tonight.
Yeah, well, I liked our conversation last time, so I've got a few follow-up questions, but I'll just do a little bit of housekeeping first. So generally, if you do have a question, it's good to put a queue if there's a lot of comments so I can pick out the questions. So if you haven't sort of read I did a bit of an intro for you, Heather, in this one. So you kind of commune with the other side. You also commune with people's pets as well, which we didn't really talk about in our initial conversation.
Yeah.
So, if you have any kind of question for Heather or for myself for that matter, but let's focus on Heather, then just drop it into the comments with a Q in front and I'll pick that up. And if everyone just wants to lurk and doesn't want to ask any questions, then we'll just chat amongst ourselves. So thank you to Eagle OG1 for tuning in. Appreciate you. And also to Tara Jones. She's got a lot of nice things to say about you, Heather.
Yeah. Aw, thanks, Tara. Love you.
Thank you for tuning in as well. So I'll just pop this banner up just quickly. Now, if you don't really have anything much to say or you don't have a question, then just let us know in the comments where you're actually from. It's always interesting to see where people tune in from. Mm-hmm. So in the absence of any questions, then I'm going to go first. Actually, let's go with the communing with pets thing. So we didn't talk about that at all. And I actually didn't realize that until after we had finished. So tell us about what you do with pets.
Yeah, I like the phrase communing with pets. It sounds so, I don't know, St. Francis-ish or something, but I am a trained and studied animal communicator. So that is at its kind of heart, connecting through telepathy with someone's pet. And I can do that either for in-person pets. And I'll say for anyone listening who wants to ask that question, I work off of a photo for pets in the physical realm, but I also connect, because I'm a medium, I also connect to pets in spirit. So this came about kind of unexpectedly for me. I had actually had a few pets that had all manner of behavioral issues and medical issues, and traditional care wasn't really cutting it. Behavioral therapy for them wasn't cutting it either. And so I was exploring other options and worked with some animal communicators for my own pets and started to see results. And I thought, that's fascinating. How does somebody do that? Sign me up. And started the process of learning and training and having mentors. But around the same time I was interested, or that interest got piqued, I had a friend whose pet was suffering from cancer. Suffering's a strange word. He was experiencing cancer, we'll say. And so as part of his therapy, she and I would do a road trip every couple of weeks, about an hour and a half from where she lived to go to this university veterinary clinic. So we had all this time to talk and communicate, and it became like this big adventure that we would try to make really fun and uplifting for the dog and for ourselves, because it was really stressful. And in one of those visits, because it started to be a routine, you would go, you would check in, they'd call you back to the room, they take the dog in the back. Anybody who's been to the vet knows that there's always like the back where they take your pets and they do the blood draws and procedures or whatever. So one particular day we were following our standard routine and it felt absolutely normal to us by that point. And I was just sitting, like, I don't know if I was looking at my phone or flipping through a magazine, and I heard this voice in my head that said, I don't want to go back there because I don't want my mom to know that the cancer has gotten worse. And the vet tech came into the room about that time, and this beautiful dog who would always go with anybody who asked, he was so loving and so friendly, he put on the brakes and refused to go with her. And it was really abnormal and unusual behavior for him. But I didn't say anything at the time because I thought, where did that voice come from? It didn't make any sense. And when we got home from that particular visit, the vet called to give my friend the results that the cancer had spread, or it had returned and metastasized. And so I kind of realized, I didn't mean to tune in, but I received that message. If you think everything can be broadcast through the quantum field. It's all information. Whether you tune into it or not is up to your abilities, your skills, and the practice that you put into it. So that just really solidified my desire to pursue that, train with that, and be able to help people. And I actually thought, I'm only going to work with pets because people are so complicated. I'll just leave the people thing to others. But that's not exactly how it worked out, because all of the pets, of course, had people attached to them. And then you get pulled into everybody's story. And then I realized I really do just want to serve and connect and help everybody. But initially I thought it'll just be cute puppies and kittens and, potty training concerns. And it wasn't. It was a lot of deep, meaningful connections, which it always should be. There's no shortcut. So I should have known that. But that's kind of how it all came about. And now it's been, 10, 12, maybe even 15 years since then. Actually, yeah, about 15, I think. And I just love it. But it's now part of this whole conglomeration of different things that I do kind of under the intuitive umbrella.
Wow, that is amazing. So when you say you heard a voice, and 70th mum, I will get to your question. When you say you heard a voice, I'm just it I find it amazing that a pet can like communicate that way. And obviously,
Yeah.
and it makes me think, well, they're actually a lot smarter and more intelligent than what we give them credit for. But the way that actually came through, do you think it was actually the pet or its higher self, or what do you think was actually coming through to
Oh,
you?
that's a great question. I think it was actually, knowing now, looking back and having years of experience, it was actually the pet himself.
Hmm.
And they are so much more tuned in to our daily lives and our experiences than we think. And we might be a little surprised to know how tuned in they are. Um, and I think in that moment, I was just really, one of the things I teach my students now is to be really present, be in the present moment. That's the portal to all the connections. And of course, we develop our skills. But I think in that moment, I was really present. My mind wasn't doing the grocery list or the to-do list or really worried about anything. And so that made it an easier pathway for the dog to communicate with me. Plus it was, I knew this dog there. I love this dog. There was that relationship, and that frequency of love is another beautiful pathway. So I think, yeah, in that instance, it wasn't necessarily his higher self. But I love that question, because I think sometimes that almost partnership does occur where a pet may be having a circumstance in their physical existence, just like we do. We don't always know what's wrong with us physically or what the next step should be. But if we can tune into that higher self aspect or our oversoul, or however somebody wants to classify that, that's where the information is. So same with a pet. They also have these beautiful soul expressions, these higher selves, and those perspectives can have a little more information than what's here in third dimensional gravity filled earth. So
Hmm.
that's how I see it or experience it when I'm doing readings. Anyway, I'm usually connecting with the pet who is here in the physical, connecting through telepathy, and they can determine or share all kinds of things. There's one that comes to mind of a cat who asked me during the reading something along the lines of, she kept showing me a clock, this big, big clock. And I would ask a question and she would show me the clock. I'd ask a question, she'd show me a clock. And something about the specific ticking of that clock. Turns out that was a clock that I think her family had just purchased. They had just unpacked it, put it on the floor in her room where the cat's food was. And the cat liked to lay on the clock because she felt the tick, 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 tick,
Hmm.
tick. So it was like a little vibration for her. And then another quick story, there was a dog one time I communicated with who asked or was really kind of complaining about this really loud beeping. Like, hey, lady who's talking to me in my head right now, ask my mom what's up with the beeping because it's really annoying. And the human I was talking to was at work. So the pet was at home, the human was at work. They're two different locations. And she didn't know. The human was like, I have no idea what that beeping is. And I said, okay, that's fine. That's fair. Later that night, I got an email from the human who said that her smoke detector had been going off all day. but she didn't know because she
Oh,
wasn't home. So the dog was clearly a little annoyed with that sound all day. So it's interesting what they can perceive, what they can communicate, and really nothing's off limits to what they can share with us. So it's pretty fun.
wow. All right. Well, we've got a couple of questions. I don't know whether this is going to work, but let's give it a crack anyway. So, from 70s Mom, thanks for tuning in. Hi, Heather. My question is, my 13-year-old cat has developed the habit of only eating when I'm sitting next to him. I even have to stir his dry food before he'll eat. Why?
That is a beautiful question. And it might be a little bit of a theme for me this week. I've talked to a few cats with challenges with eating. So, without knowing the specifics, so for pets in the physical, I tune into their energy from their photo specifically. But I
Hmm.
want to give you a couple of options and things to consider for that. So,
Or see, 70s Mum, if you email hello@untetheredconsciousness.com with the photo,
oh,
and then maybe we'll include that. But I'll let you go on, Heather.
yeah. Oh, that's so fun. I like that. Thanks for rolling with that, Rod. That's cool. So sometimes it can be that, like, I want to start with the obvious things for a cat as well. Sometimes it's the smell of their food, the texture of their food. Um, and even I'm thinking even the sound of the dry being stirred in with the wet, like it's a whole procedure now. What I think may be at the root, again, without looking, unless we connect specifically a little later tonight, are you, when you're having that beautiful experience of being with your cat while he's eating, is that abnormal for you? Meaning, are you really busy throughout the whole rest of your day? Because we have the human, like I mentioned earlier, the to-do list, the grocery list. I'm doing this. I'm go, 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 go. Is that food time by chance when you can be still, when you can be present? Because sometimes, like cat owners know this too, cats walking on the keyboard or napping on the keyboard, they just kind of, pets are so observant of our energy, and they know when we need a break, when we need to come out of that go, go, go mode. So it could be that he's trying to just pull you out of that. It could also be that he just likes to eat with someone present instead of free feeding, or you putting food down and then you going back to your day. It could be just like a, hey, mom, sit with me, be here with me. And for us, it feels a little bit maybe like we're being manipulated, like, oh, come on, I have to do the food this
Especially if it's a
way.
cat.
And yeah, exactly. But just be open to, maybe it's just that that's when your energy feels the smoothest for him, and when he can really share that moment with you and pull you out of your day enough to be present.
All right, cool. So, there's the email. Send the photo if you want to get a follow up on that one, 70s Mum, and
Yeah.
we'll see if we can get some more. But that's kind of, it does make sense, doesn't it? One here
Yeah.
from Margaret Taylor. Thank you for tuning in, Margaret. Appreciate you. Have a feral outdoor cat I'll call Wiley. That's a good name for a wild cat, who obviously has a mouth
It is.
infection, has since moved into his eye. Been trying to trap him with no luck. Should I leave him be?
Ah, Margaret, bless you for being so kind to connect with him and be there to help him. Um, when is he running? I wonder if you can answer this question. Is he triggered by the trap in that you've seen that you're putting it out and he's running away and looks more stressed from it? Or is he just not necessarily finding it, or kind of avoiding it in a casual way? And it
Oh,
may be
I've
hard
got
to
a photo
tell.
of Wiley. I've got a photo of Wiley. Here we go.
Wow, you guys are on it tonight. I love
Yeah,
it.
here we go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's Wiley.
Oh, look at that handsome little guy. Oh my goodness. Trap him with no luck. Can I ask, Margaret, how long have you been trying for that? Because I really get the feeling that, even though I was asking, is he super stressed out by the trap? I think the infection for him has him kind of off of his true self, if that makes sense. Just like when we're sick and we kind of just are like, I don't even know. I don't feel like me. I don't want to do anything. I think he's not able to make the connection on his own. We can talk to him tonight. I'll do it. I'm connecting with him a little bit right now, but I want to give you the tools to do it as well because you're closer to him. You mean more to him than some strange lady talking to him in his head. But I would love for him to be able to get the help. And I think he's really like he admires you. I feel like I'm looking
All
up
right.
at him. Yeah.
Margaret's got some more info there. Trap doesn't stress him, he just avoids it. Are
And he
you able to
seems
see
to
the
be,
comments too?
yeah, I when you pop him up, I can.
Okay.
Yeah. He seems to want to be left alone. Have you, this might sound crazy, Margaret, or you may have explaining it to him. This trap can get you help. So it's going to feel confining, but I want you, because he experiences the world very viscerally. If you can imagine, a feral cat is out on his own, feeling things in his physical body a little differently than our house cats, who maybe have someone stirring the dry food into the canned food for them every night because that's what they prefer. But if you can, to the best of your ability, clearly picture in your mind him feeling better, what it would look like, that whole process, because part of it is he doesn't understand, he can't connect. Trap gets me to feeling better. Trap gets me to feeling vitalized and feeling myself without the pain in my mouth, or wherever else it was. But so as clearly as you can picture the whole process, and I'm just going to talk it through, like if we're him, and as I'm doing that, I'm kind of sending those pictures. And if you can imagine like a movie projector that he can watch where you're projecting those images, because animals can tune in a number of different ways. Just like we have people who are better communicators or better learners visually, they can learn. Some people learn better when they hear something. Some people learn better kinetically when they're writing it. So our pets can be the same. So we're going to hit as many of those markers for him as we can by showing him the image, talking to him the next time you see him, and combining those two together. So if you can imagine, you get in the trap, it's scary for a minute. I understand it's going to be frightening for you, but I want you to know that I'm trying to help you. And you will go in the trap, and then you'll probably go in the car. I'm assuming you would take him in a vehicle of some sort to a vet, or you would put him in the trap and give him the medication yourself, depending on where you are and what you have available and what skills you have. But just showing him that whole process. And then this is the kicker that kind of amplifies the message. I want you to feel the joy that you would feel, and feel for him, almost on his behalf, how relieved it would be to be in a body that is completely healthy. Because I feel for him, he connects in very viscerally to things. So if you can say, hey, this is what it's going to feel like, you're going to feel a little bit of fear. You're going to maybe taste something different because we give you medicine. You'll hear, like, just how would he experience it if he's going in a car? You'll hear things a little differently. You'll be in another confined space within the confined space, but that's all okay because I'm trying to get you help. And then you can come back and I will let you go about your business once you're healthy, and it'll be fine. Like, it's not this long-term thing where you're permanently trapped. So I don't know if that makes sense in the way that I'm explaining it, Margaret, but just walking him through all of it, because he doesn't have the life experience to understand that's what's going to happen, and he can't really connect the dots. So to him, it just looks like oh, heck no, that's a full stop. I'm not interested in any of that, if that makes sense.
Alrighty, so I've got 70's mum has actually got her profile is the photo of the cat. So
Okay.
let's add that in and see if this is any help for you.
What a cutie. Yeah.
If you've got anything more to add, obviously.
Yeah. I still think a lot of it, like 80% of this, is I want my mom to sit and be with me and for her energy to be calm in this moment. There's a little bit potentially also of just feeling safer when you're around. And then the fact of like the food being specifically combined in that way, that really feels like you at this point you've kind of been trained to do that, and it's a little bit of a habit. But for him, like, I'm hearing the word ritual, it feels like a ritual to him. So if you can imagine, when we go out to a fancy restaurant, and that's very different for us, maybe you do that all the time, I don't know, but it's very different with maybe there's a nice tablecloth and there's all of the silverware instead of just the couple that you would maybe have at home, and there aren't the paper napkins, it's rolled up, it's really beautiful. There's a waiter who pulls out your chair. There's like a ritual to it that makes it feel really special. So all of the lead up to the meal, the mixing of the food together, and all of that feels like a ritual to him, and it just feels like a really special time. So whether or not you want to kind of it join him in that feeling of it being just so special and almost sacred in that ritual, that's up to you, but that's how he's seeing it. So for him to negotiate off of that to free feeding, or I have the food put down and I only eat the wet or I only eat the dry, to him that's like, but why would I, when my human is doing all of these things for me that feel really very special and really like bonding together. So let me know if that makes sense. But yeah, it's just for him, it feels really special and just like a beautiful little meal. And I'll tell everybody here, I am owned by a border collie, so I understand pets kind of pushing your buttons to get you to do things in a way like that. So, yeah. Oh, awesome.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So Bernadette from Unleashing Potentials, thanks for dropping in. She actually dropped in on the last
Ah,
live stream as well. I don't know if this can work for you, Heather, but she's got a question regarding her dad.
Okay. Can you give me dad's name, Bernadette? Because that just helps me like with the energy. If it's not, if you don't feel like sharing that, that's okay.
Bernadette's usually very talkative, so
Cool. Okay.
we'll see something from her
Yeah.
pretty soon. Well, maybe we'll jump back to this one. Actually, we'll just jump to this next question
Oh, yeah.
from Tara.
Oh, such a juicy question. Can pets be reincarnated souls or people from your earlier life that are no longer with you? And yes, that makes sense. So there's a couple layers to this answer. In general, yes, they can. More specifically, do they often choose that? It's not, in my experience, incredibly common. What is more likely and more common is one of our loved ones in spirit sponsors or influences behavior from that pet in a way that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, that's something grandma would do, or that's the chair only Aunt Karen would sit in, or something like that. Or even looking at you in a certain way. Loved ones in spirit, this is going to sound, well, I don't know if it's going to sound nutty, but they can manipulate in a loving way, with the pet's permission, manipulate their energy to do things like that. So to nudge a certain knickknack off of the shelf, and you were just thinking about that person who passed away, and oh my gosh, is the cat trying to tell me that it's that person? Not necessarily, but they are showing you that there's that broader connection with everything, with everyone. So they can choose to do it, but I know there are some people who have the perspective that there's like these finite swim lanes where if you've been a human, you can only always be a human, and you can't come into another form. Like you can't cross over and then cross back over, like the species line or something like that. That's not been my experience. I think as a soul, we can choose, and likely have chosen, to be many, many different things when it's in the course of one combined lifetime, meaning everyone that I've connected with. Like if you picture the hub of a wheel and all the spokes coming off of the wheel. So all my loved ones in spirit who have known me as this version of Heather that are on the other side now. if they wanted to come back in, and I will even say, and this, I don't want to upset anyone, but most commonly, I don't even see loved ones in spirit popping back in that quickly in the same kind of incarnation sphere, I guess I want to call it. So that hub of the wheel. If you think of your lifetime being a play, and all the people that you've known are actors. And so, and I know that's a Shakespeare thing, right? The play, and we come on stage. But while your play is still ongoing, my guides are saying you don't often recast the roles, or whoever played the role of your grandfather may not come back into this same lifetime in a permanent incarnation, but they can influence pets, they can influence people as well, to say things, to show up in certain locations. Anything like that can be energy being manipulated in a way that reminds you or reconnects you to that loved one. That's a cool question, Tara. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tara. So let's go back to Bernadette. Bernadette's dad's name is Nerva.
Nerva. Okay. Did dad have a fairly large personality, Bernadette? That's the way I want to see, because I want to see if this is your dad coming through. But all of a sudden, I got this like huge, like I was being, not in a bad way, but pushed forward. Like my energy was being made to be really big and proud of you, but also this feeling of, I'm so proud of you, but I want to break down all the things you could be doing even better, if that makes sense. So, like, and he's not going to get into specifics for that, but it just feels like he could help tweak things and help you, or did in this lifetime, help you have a different perspective for things that maybe were not your strongest qualities. A little vague on that. But so very proud of you. And is there something, like, I just had the feeling of being really nervous and anxious about something. So is there something coming up for you that feels like a bigger opportunity, or something you're stepping into that's a little new for you? Because it
Yeah, on
almost,
screen.
oh, yeah. Well, he is in this version of him powerfully coming through for that. Are you able to connect with him in spirit, Bernadette? Can you answer that maybe in another thing? Comment. I didn't mean to use the word thing.
Yeah. So I'll pop it up if it
My
comes through.
vocabulary leaves sometimes. So I'm going to say this, the tweaking energy of like, it just felt like this churning of, oh, fun. Putting art, that, now you're talking my language with art too. Love that. Oh, what a beautiful opportunity. So that's just him commenting that he's there and witnessing that. So for him in this role as a spirit, he's able to have a clearer perspective of you, of your life, in a way that he is not, I'm hearing the word burdened. He said he was burdened by some things. There were some things with him. Whew, I even feel physically, but emotionally and behaviorally, that were like disconnects. Like he wasn't able to see things in the truest sense, and then based his actions off of that misdirection. So the feeling that I'm getting from that is, I never really knew who you were in this lifetime, and so I didn't connect to you and wasn't able to be that father figure that you would have wanted me to be. But it's because his perspective was so skewed. Do you know what is that I'm trying to see? Like a house of mirrors, when you go to like a fair or something like that, where you walk in and it's all these different mirrors. So some of them make you look really tall, some of them make you look really wide, some of them make you look small, some are blurry. It feels like he was looking for you and you were looking for him in all those different images and reflections, and you guys just didn't see one another in that. But there's also this sense of, look at how you persevered, look at how you moved past and through that, and not from a place of asking, I mean, yes, asking for forgiveness, but that's not where this specific message is coming through, but looking at it from the soul's perspective of, without those challenges, without that absence of him, that again, he's so proud and he really wants you to know he's proud now, even if he wasn't then, that was part of your soul's journey to craft and step into your own, and really in a lot of ways develop your own masculine energy in how you are, how you can be ambitious, how you can go for what you want, how you can launch into things, because you almost had to develop that in the absence of him kind of shepherding you through life in that way. So I hope that makes sense. I also feel like I want to break out in a sweat. So I don't know if that's something he physically had, or just the excitement of coming through really powerfully like he did. But I'll leave it there. Thanks, Bernadette, for the question.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, 70s Mum, I'll come back to you. I'm going to, this quick question here from Silver Squirrel. Squirrel friend Nutkin. I'll see if she's
I know who Silver Squirrel is, I think. Nutkin's still alive. Okay. Let me see. I feel like she is, Silva. I feel like she's still here. I think that was friend or my job is so cool. A family member of the squirrel, like a sister squirrel in that way. That was just a fun sentence right there. But I feel that she's still here. Affected by the squirrel that you did find. So it's this is so fun. It was some squirrel. Do you say someone for a squirrel? I don't know what's appropriate. It was
in the squirrel community.
Yeah, exactly. It was a squirrel that she knew and hung out with. But I feel like she's still here. And I want to tell you that I feel like she is keenly aware of where you are and who you are, because I feel like I'm up in the tree looking down and like, oh, there's that person. Like, there's the human, like that. So I'm going to ask her to send you like a little sign or cross your path in a way that you can see her. I don't know if it'll work. She might be squirrely. Ha, pun intended. Sorry, it was bad. I saw it coming and I couldn't get away from it. But in that way. So yeah, thanks for the question.
I could say you missed your calling, but I don't think that you did. All right, let's get a question here from 70s Mum. A message from her dad, Frank.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the name too. Okay. Ooh, Frank is making me feel a little dizzy. All these questions, like it's so interesting. There are mediums who are definitely more skilled at pulling specific messages through than I am. So I will say that. What I get is the feeling, oh my gosh, the feeling. And again, I don't want you to tell us anything you're not comfortable telling us, but what he's making me feel is there were times where there was, it's obvious, I think, for anyone who passes by suicide, there was a darkness that he couldn't escape permanently, but fell in and out of throughout his life. And he's making me feel like you have at least stared that down. You've seen what that is, or you've felt that yourself. And again, you don't need to share with us. But he's so very proud of you for the softer way that you come into it and the way that you self nurture and show yourself grace in those moments where you feel jagged, where you feel sad, dark, angry, all the things. And that for a lot of that period of time, you, since his passing, you have remembered or worked really hard to remember. He's showing me like cream of the crop, to remember the higher aspects of him and the things that almost playing out in your mind, or he's showing me you playing out in your mind as one would do the could have, should have, would have. Yes, but you're playing out the, if dad was here and not affected by this depression or anxiety or whatever it was, addiction, whatever path that manifested itself, he would have done this. It's like you have this top note. He's showing me kind of music as well, like bars of music on a sheet that you've continued to play this symphony of him. That's the phrase he wants to use for that, in a way that allowed the melody to continue and to be beautiful and uplifting when there were a lot of lower notes. There's a lot of darkness to it. So in the way that you've remembered him, he feels very touched by that and honored by that. And again, really proud of you in the way that you have healed that and nurtured yourself through that and shown up for others in a way as well. So I don't know if you do counseling or you just share your story with others in a way that's very open, but it feels like you are healing more than just you in that.
All right. I hope that's helpful. Question here from Tara, who tuned in at the very beginning. Thank you, Tara.
Yeah. I just lost a very close friend of mine. His name was Craig. Can you tell me if he has any message for me? Craig is like the main message. I feel like I'm at kind of a football game, where they hold up the posters with letters. It's okay. He is okay, but it's this energy of celebration, Tara. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but it feels like there's such a big party that Craig is hosting. It feels like he went to the other side and felt instant relief and release from anything that had tethered him before. But there's a little element of surprise of how, for him, easy his passing was as well. And for you specifically, yeah, you're such a you have queen bee energy. I don't know what that means. I was going to use another phrase. I don't know if I can cuss on here, and I won't. But like a badass. You're a badass, Tara, in your energy. And he also feels like, I don't know if he would be this kind of person, but like looking at your team of guides and saying, I'm going to keep them all in check and make sure that they are all doing what they're supposed to do to connect with you and further all that you're doing. He feels like such a hype guy. So that's Craig. And I mean, all that message also, not just the okay, but that peace. There's such a sense of peace and calm in all of that for him as well, which he finds surprising. I don't know why. Well, you can tell me the story someday, but yeah.
70s mum.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I can imagine there's a challenge with that, feeling worthy when someone has chosen from, and I think this is your dad coming through too, and the way to explain that, chosen based on his own circumstances and his own perspective of not feeling like life for him was something he wanted to continue with. But it had nothing to do with you in that. And coming to that healing for yourself and really softening. That's the word I keep hearing too, is continue to soften and release and soften and release. And in a way, excavate those different layers of you. Because he's also showing me, like, not recently, but earlier in life, there may have been a bit of an armor that you put up, which also makes sense. so that people are maybe at arm's length a little bit. There's a little bit of a buffer between you, but it feels that you've been dissolving, is the word, some of that, and softening a little bit for yourself. So really well done. And thank you for the kind words about your portrait. I'm so glad that it was able to show you how truly radiant you are, and let you connect with that in a different way.
Okay, Carrie Ann has just dropped in. Thanks, Carrie Ann, for
Hey,
tuning
Carrie
in.
Ann.
Oh, she's
Hello.
got a question, actually. I am going to get to your other questions, but if you've already asked one, then I'll kind of cue it, and we'll let the new people ask questions too, but I'll hopefully get to all of them.
Yeah. Will Nixon and I reconcile? What are his current feelings, or has he moved on? I'm going to explain the way that I see this energetically for you. It feels like there's this spiral, and sometimes you guys, in the metaphor, there are messages for you, and that's kind of why I speak in this, I don't know, illustrative manner, we'll say. But there's this spiral of energy, and it feels like, centrifugal force, where it spins really, really, really fast. You've kind of magnetized into that energy, which I'm guessing would have been the energy of the relationship, and he's spun off of it. So it feels like, from his perspective right now, at least, he's not really even feeling the connection, or feeling the energy or the resonance of that connection. I feel like there's a little residue, that's a weird word, of the connection that comes back, but it doesn't feel like enough of a spark. So maybe enough to come back for healing and completion, if that makes sense, but not enough to continue going. And Carrie Ann, I don't know if that's the answer that you really wanted to hear, but that's just how I see the energy today in this moment, knowing that there's free will, there are different timelines, there are different things that can occur, but that's how it looks energetically to me now, that it's a little bit spun off from that main energy and just doesn't feel as vitalized or as connected to you as you feel to that same energy.
Okay, we're going to loop back to, excuse me, Bernadette. Well, that's an interesting question.
Oh, was I supposed to be born as a twin? I feel that part of me is missing and I don't know where it is. That is a cool question, Bernadette. I think what you're feeling is a connection to a twin soul. So I wouldn't classify that necessarily as physical twin, but twin soul energy, meaning there is this echo or reciprocal part of you that is, uh, this is going to sound weird, a disincarnate being. So a being that is in spirit, in heaven, in the soul world. Not that they were supposed to be born into your family as your twin, but I think you hold this dual energy with this person. And so connecting in and practicing intuitive connections, even mediumship in some way, because we're connecting kind of across the veil. But I feel that there's this echo version of you where the two of you chose in this lifetime for you to come into a physical human form, and that person to be kind of the anchor for you in the non-physical. But it can feel like a longing and a missing and a disconnection when you aren't truly pulling through messages from them, or feeling it. You feel around it, or you feel the, again, resonance of it, but not the specifics. So I would say working with a practitioner to, yeah, exactly, to connect in with that. Even working in a dream state or a kind of a past life regression might be helpful as well for you, because I feel like you've come together in lifetimes a lot, and this is one where you didn't. So you're also feeling on that level, like, where's this, where's the person that I usually come in with? And you've come in different iterations, sometimes as romantic partners, sometimes as business partners, sometimes as family members, sometimes with some animosity and a little bit of spice, because the souls who challenge us are also the souls who are our greatest teachers. So this is a lifetime that you chose to come in solo from that perspective, but then you still also have all those beautiful soul memories and that, again, resonance of their energy, just not the fulfillment of connecting in with it. But I think it can be developed for you with some coaching, mentoring, working with people, even connecting in a dream state, setting your intention in that way. So that's really cool.
Okay, great. So we're probably you're good for another about 15 minutes, Heather.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds great.
Alrighty. So anyone who's just dropped in, so obviously if you have a question, then just drop a comment in. Now, Heather's been taking questions from people's pets as well, or questions about people's pets. So if you want to do that, then it's a good idea to email a photo of your pet. So we've had a we've had a few of those already, which has been fun.
Did we have anybody checking
So
in with where they are? I know you had asked that question. I always like to
yeah,
know
not
that too.
not so far. I'll just remind people of
Oh,
that.
come
So
on, you
yeah,
guys.
say hi and let us know where
Mhm.
in the world that you are from. I don't
Where
think
in
I
the
missed
world
any.
are you?
Alrighty. So there's just a couple of follow-ups from Carrie Ann. Excuse me, that was
Oh,
about the Nixon.
yeah.
And who else did I miss? I think that was it. All right, just to follow up there
And
from
Carrie Ann,
Bernadette.
can
All
I
right.
also say just quickly, because as your name came back up, this little snippet of energy or info came up too. Girlfriend, your light's too bright. This is going to sound so like whatever, but your light is not matching his light or Nixon's light in that way. You're just not, we don't want to say better or worse, brighter, dimmer, anything like that, but it's just, it's not equitable in that way. And wouldn't you rather have something that feels equitable in that way? Just based on like the energetic pulse that you have, because that spiral of energy I was seeing, I think that's like in some way your force field. There's like this beautiful presence that you have and this energy. So I just wanted to say that as I saw your name come back up.
I love that. All righty. So let me go back to my questions. Oh, okay. So when we spoke before, you said you see every soul as like this radiant geometric design. Could you describe to us what you actually see and how do those patterns relate to someone's like life?
Absolutely. So I see it and I don't see it. So let me explain what that means. I do something I call an energetic signature portrait, which the result of that is geometry and color in digital art. I create those by channeling. So someone will give me their name and their geographic, I was say their geometric location, their geographic location. And for some reason, the way my ability works is that allows me to kind of hone in on their energetic signature. And I go in a channeled state, like if you would see a trance channeler or someone who does automatic writing. But what's coming through for me is art. So I am drawing in a digital application, color, shape, form, different patterns, things that look like glyphs. Sometimes there's light language making it up. And what comes out is this compilation of something that looks like geometry. They look like the flower of life form comes up. There can be any combination of shapes, colors. And then after that's channeled and I feel like that's it, pencil down, you're done, I go back and look and can then read or interpret it with someone to say, okay, red means this in combination with this shape, sometimes shapes that are pointy or square. That might be someone who prefers to have boundaries with people or has a lot of masculine energy or has had a lot of challenges in their life where fluid shapes are often, I can go with the flow better, or I'm more of, I'm like more cooperative with people. But, you know, it all works in combination with the color and the shape to tell its own story about someone. And what's really fun is often there will be other things kind of hidden or embedded in the art. There are people who have seen, and I'm not drawing it, it's coming through me, but people who have seen totem animals that they know, or they've seen, somebody saw like the face of their grandma in there. We'll see words sometimes. I remember years ago, somebody's portrait came through with this really specific color of pink that I didn't see very often. And when I completed the art, I thought, wow, this is a lot of pink. Like, I don't know if I even like sending this to her. I feel like I didn't do it right. And I got a note immediately back that said, that's my signature color. Like, you nailed it. I've also accidentally channeled or included in the art someone's tattoo design that they already had on their body, and I'll get the picture of that back. So it's really, if we think of ourselves as energetic beings in the world, we all, like I was seeing to Carrie Ann just now, we all broadcast a certain resonance. We all have a certain home frequency. So this art is a way that we can see that, feel that, and then also it helps us, as 70s Mom was saying, it gives us this different perspective because we're so used to being defined as who we are in this physical one lifetime, when really we're so unlimited and we're not defined by our roles, our names, our genders, our physical attributes, any of it. We're so much more than that. So my guides have told me that as we move forward with ascension and expansion and growth and all the things, these types of, not just mine specifically, but these types of art, or this type of art and these types of expressions where it's not just, hello, my name is Heather. It's more like, here's more about me. And so in the color, in the sound, in the resonance, in your vibration, in your frequency, that's giving more information about you. And as we are all developing our intuitive abilities, we'll be able to see, feel, understand more about people based on that representation. So it's a really beautiful way to see yourself reflected, but also understand, if we're all walking around and we're all this beautiful combination of energy and color and light and shape, we're all just here doing the best that we can in our human form, but there's so much more that is unlimited, that is within us, that we can express. And anybody who's
Oh, that
gotten
could
the
be a
portrait, if you
podcast
want to
on its
drop a
own.
comment and say, like, what was your reaction to it, that might be helpful too for other people.
All right. That is so fascinating. Okay. Jess, thanks for dropping in question. We've probably got time for 2 more questions, folks. Interested in changing your job, tired of the profession. So what's your profession at the moment, Jess? I'm interested.
And tired of the people that come with the profession, or tired of working with people in general? Because sometimes that can be a thing. Like I said before, I thought I was just going to work with dogs and cats and all the things and birds, and that was it.
All the non-humans.
Uh-huh. I thought far less drama in the animal kingdom. Not true.
That's what my wife thinks too. I think she's like,
Yeah.
oh God, what do I have to do with people? I could just like be a cat lady or something. I can feel Jess furiously typing something.
Yeah.
Probably a couple. It says, Silver, oh, you're from Charlottesville, Virginia. Well, thanks for coming in all the way from there.
Yeah.
Silver, appreciate your questions today. I don't think, hang on. No, I don't think we're going to get any additional information from
Nothing from Jess. Okay.
at the moment.
So, Jess, my guidance to you is that you are feeling the pinch of that, you're feeling the crunch of that, and you're feeling the exhaustion of that very accurately, because it's not the right fit for you. I feel that people are, I want to say people in general are putting you in a box, but it feels like they're also like pulling you like taffy. Like there's demands there that are stretching you beyond what feels authentic for you. So if you're being pulled off, such like spiritual woo-woo talk, but if you're being pulled off your center, you're being pulled out of your authenticity, you're getting out of alignment and you're getting a little wobbly energetically. So I want to tell you, go with your heart in the best way that you can, what feels like the next best thing for you. Because often we're also looking for huh, what would be the dream job? And the steps to get there, it may not be one thing. I feel for you, there's a couple different iterations of what you can do. And that may feel unsettling and challenging. And I totally get that. But I think just feeling into where is the next exciting thing for me that also still allows me to feel safe, where I can get my groceries and I can pay my rent or my mortgage or whatever it is, but what honors you and your unique voice and your authenticity more. And I also feel that for you, there's some splash of creativity involved too, because it just feels like we're not honoring the fire within enough. So self-expression, creativity, the next best step without taking a leap that makes you feel some instability.
Okay, I've actually I've got something to add to that.
Yeah.
So, Jess, what I'm feeling is that, well, here's something to consider. Sometimes in the job or the occupation that we're doing, we haven't actually had a conversation around what it is that we actually want. And I think sometimes we think that by changing to something else, then that's going to fix the problem for us, when actual fact, we just carry that problem for us into the next position. And sometimes we don't. But
Yeah.
my feeling is that you are quite a senior person. You're very, very talented. And a lot of people rely on you to get answers and to get things done, especially your boss. So I would encourage you, if that's true, if I'm on the right track, to have that conversation with your boss around what's going on for you and what's going to have you be more satisfied with what you're doing. And maybe that will actually produce some fruits you didn't expect.
Yeah, that's a great point. Just standing for that self-expression of here are my boundaries, here's what I expect, here's what I would like. Yeah, that's beautiful. Hmm.
Alrighty, I think we've got time. Have we got time for maybe one more? Let me just see.
Good luck, Wiley. Feel well soon. And good luck,
Yeah,
Margaret, with
yeah.
Wiley.
Let's go. Oh, Bernadette, you've got so many questions. Let me just see if I can grab one. Okay, here we go. How about this one?
Will my spine and mental health heal? I'm going to give you an absolutely annoying answer, Bernadette. That seems so, like, I don't want to say rude, but off the cuff. Yes, when you choose to allow them to. So, what I mean by that is, what part of your identity or what part of your story do you have attached to that? And where can you start to, I'm going to use that phrase again, soften and release some of that? So, often energetically, and again, disclaimer, this is not medical advice, all of that. Often energetically, spine and the whole, like the even up to the brainstem, the whole that is very connected to security and safety. And so hearing the part of your story that we did about your father not being present, that can be some of that energetic impact or energetic ingredients into that feeling of now a spine being misaligned or too rigid or too flexible, like anything connected to your sturdiness and your stability can have been impacted by that story. So healing that story can, and what you tell yourself about that story and how you release that, feel into that ease, and kind of repurpose or rewrite or recycle or upcycle, the team is saying, some of that for yourself can impact that health. So I don't know if that made sense. I hope it did in the way I'm saying it. But I mean, the kind of smart alecky answer from the guides was, yeah, when you choose to fully align, that's the other thing, alignment with the spine. Where are you out of alignment with, again, your authenticity? That's a bit of a theme today with people stepping into that. So yeah.
All right, thank you very much for that. Okay, we're going to wrap it up, folks. We've got lots of thank yous from all over.
Thanks,
They've actually been
everybody.
you guys have been a really cool bunch today. That's
Yeah.
well, they usually are, but yeah, thanks for tuning out. It's always, you know, there's always somebody who gets something useful, but it is nice, like, for as a host to have people to, and as for my
Yeah.
guests as well, I like to think, well, there's a few people actually have showed up. So
Yeah.
thank
Thanks,
you all for
everybody.
that.
Yeah. Hmm.
So let's just wrap this up fairly soon. So go and check out Heather's website at heathermays.com. I'll leave a link in the description. She's very good at what she does if you need some help. And that's my alarm, which I should have done. And thank you, Heather, for being here today. It's been fun.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Rod. It has been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you for the opportunity to connect with you, with your audience, and just be really present and together in this community today. That's been absolutely lovely. So thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone. We're going to sign off. Hold on just a sec.